Hey, welcome back to the channel, you guys. It is a beautiful morning here in the mountains, and this morning we're doing a warm-up drawing. I love doing warm-up drawings because it basically gets me in the mood to create for the rest of the day. So this morning we're going to be doing a dragon. I'm actually developing a coloring book about dragons and dinosaurs, two separate coloring books, and I will be producing those and putting them on Amazon soon, so look out for that. This morning, just a really fun little exercise for you guys, and I know that you know, a lot of you have either just started drawing, you're on your drawing journey, and sometimes, you know, drawing in general can be a taxing endeavor because we basically, you know, we live and breathe in this world, and we're in 3 dimensions. And of course, whenever we go to put it on a 2D surface, we have sort of that disconnect. So it is my teaching style to help you realize that even though we do live in a 3-dimensional world, there are methodologies to help you kind of overcome that separation, and that separation of thought, meaning, you know, we live in that 3D world where there's perspective, linear perspective, atmospheric perspective, and all of those convoluted words that, as people that don't really know what art is and drawing in general, they get confused. So it's kind of my, I don't know, my moniker to help you change that dichotomy of thought and help you realize that yes, you can draw on a 2D surface but make it look 3-dimensional. And I do this by utilizing the shape method, shapes being circles, squares, triangles, rectangles, and all of those things to help you really kind of, you know, change your way of thinking. And it's important that, you know, you realize that it is a process, and it's going to take a long time for you to understand and get where you need to be as far as drawing goes, because, you know, we have that thing in our brains. It's like, I want to start drawing. I should be able to be successful at it right off the bat, because, you know, how hard is it to draw something, right? So that's what I'm doing right here, is I'm basically shaping out and fleshing out things on my canvas. This page, this piece of paper that I'm drawing on is my canvas. And, you know, as I go through and start putting in some of the items that I think are necessary to tell a good story, because that's what you want to do, right? You want to tell a story. I will continually adjust and readjust as I go through and start, you know, placing items, and just literally as placeholders, and start telling that story of, you know, this particular dragon and what he's doing right now. So what am I doing? I'm doing just a simple, like I said, a simple sketch using the Progresso Koh-i-Noor woodless pencil. These are made of wax. They're not, I don't want to say they're not really my fave. What is my fave? I've had that, you know, what is my favorite drawing utensil? I really like using the Caul erase pencils, but right now I've got the light blue, and I'm not really keen on the light blue. You see, both are kind of, this is kind of a mid-tone. This is 1298. Both of these are 1298, but you can see there's a differential in the color, which I always think is interesting. And, you know, working on just a plain piece of white paper in a sketchbook. Trying to determine how I'm going to curve that tail. If I want it to kind of go out a little bit, and then you've got these spines on here. It's really good a lot of times to establish your head first, and you see this a lot in animation and character design, you know, and how big and how you're going to design that head, because the head is kind of the measurement for the rest of the body. But what I'll do a lot of times is I'll go ahead and flesh in the head, and then just, you know, rudimentarily, I don't even think that's a word. I'll give just an indication, you know, of the head, and then I'll start working on the rest of the body, because I want to get the whole gesture. And gesture is being that expression of body, of where things are in that space on the page. If that, hopefully I didn't just completely mess you up. I probably did. My apologies for that. The thing that I've noticed, especially with these particular pencils, is they don't erase. And that's, you know, if you're looking to do an additional rendering on this, which I'm not, I'm just going to leave this as a pencil drawing, it will be harder for you to do that. So I'm going to have this guy reaching for something. His horns come out right here, and I have this little you can hear in the background. If you hear in the background that bird, I of course live in the mountains, and I'm surrounded by, you know, cows, and because I live in the very north part of Georgia, which is in the Appalachian Mountains, and actually where I live is on the Appalachian Trail map. It's a town called Hiawassee, and Hiawassee is close to Blood Mountain, and Blood Mountain, it sounds kind of disgusting, but Blood Mountain is actually the end of the Appalachian Trail. So the beginning, I believe, Connecticut, New Hampshire, one of those areas, and it stretches, you know, across many, many states, and it ends up here at Blood Mountain. So if you're going to take the Appalachian Trail, you'll be coming through where I live, you know. Mythical creatures. Mythical creatures are fun because you can take a lot of liberties. You know, with the dragon, there's different types of dragons. And of course, this dragon will be probably just a standard red dragon. And what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to get his arm placement where I want it. It's not quite there yet. And as you see, I'm struggling with the gesture overall, probably because I'm narrating somewhat. Have that finger come out. And I'm also trying to make sure that I get the silhouette correct, because I don't want to mess up. Yeah, that arm's too long. Comes here. Here. Let's go ahead and do this. Yeah, that arm's going to probably be just a bit too long. So let's go ahead and push his neck out a little bit. This happens with me occasionally. I get talking about what I'm doing and I get distracted somewhat. So my apologies for that. I end up messing up the drawing. That does happen. You know? Okay. So as I'm moving through here, I'm still not where I need to be just overall in terms of how I'm designing him. You know, just plot right along. Okay. Okay, so now I can start fleshing things in a little bit better. Let's go ahead and put his spines, those bony protrusions that go on his back. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. That little piece of skin right here. Then I've got to have the other side so you can see it comes around and goes down like that. Like that. And then I'll have the tooth here, and tooth there, and tooth there. Okay, so now that I've kind of got that fleshed in pretty good, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start literally kind of refining, even though, you know, you can tell that I've got an issue here. I've obviously got an issue here. I'm not happy about this section right here. Let's go ahead and solve his tail. Okay, I'm going to have that other comes here. Here's the inner part of him right here, because I want that other leg to kind of come out right here. All right, and then good. Kind of on that plane. Excuse me. It is allergy season right now. For any of you guys know, I deal with a massive amount of allergies. I've got, you know, from pollen to chinnopods, which are your ferns. I'd have the other finger come out right here. And I've been dealing with that for a while. So if you hear me clear my throat, my apologies. I had somebody be like, I could only watch like 3 seconds of your video because you were clearing your throat. Yeah, my apologies for that. I didn't want to choke. You know, I've tried so many different things as far as allergy meds and whatnot. And, you know, I'm still working on it. Okay, so his foot. All right, so now I'm going to have this come up, around. Okay, here. Kind of follow that line, like so. Okay, come here. So whenever you do a dragon, dragons are actually pretty easy. Or at least I think they are, because again, it is a mythical creature and you can take a lot of liberties with it. Now, you can't get too out of control, especially if you want it to have some root in reality. And, you know, we recognize sort of like dinosaurs as being the, I don't know, the template for dragons. You know? Okay, so here. So you don't want to go out of control with it. You want to have, again, some base in reality. So that other finger come here. And then finally that last one. Actually, I have that last one kind of peek out. Kind of in the center there. And he's kind of got his pinky out just a little bit. Excuse me. Okay, so as I look, I see that this particular area needs some help. And like I said before, I'm slowly adjusting and readjusting. Now, if I had an eraser, that would probably help. But I'm drawing really light. And let's get that thumb right here. There we go. Get that one pinky. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I did have to just count my fingers. I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I have actually done that, and I've done it in a professional sense. I actually had a dragon on a piece that I did for a major corporation, and I forgot to count the hands. So there was a mismatch among the hands. So that was fun to fix. Like, yeah, I messed that up. Okay, so I have a little bit of the indication of the other eyebrow over here. Okay, so now that I've kind of established, okay, so the center line's right here. I've established kind of the gesture and what I want. I have to kind of think, okay, what am I going to have him reaching for? What is he reaching for? Let's go ahead and flesh this other foot. Claws, claws, other foot, claw, claw. Okay, it's in the grass. Good, good. Okay, let's go ahead and shore this up a little bit better. Okay, establish that a little bit better. Not really. Okay. Okay. Gotta have a little tongue in there. These come down. Okay. Alrighty. And now what I'm doing is just dressing. Similar to, I guess, set dressing, I'm dressing the dragon to, you know, make it all the little things that make it a dragon. So your scales, your little bony fins, right? But the overall simplicity of the shape is there. So you basically started out with a circle. I continued down with kind of a bean shape, and, you know, then we have these ovals for the arms, which, again, I'm not really, I don't want to say happy with it, but the more, you know, I look at it, it's like this arm is outstretched a little bit too far, and this one's coming toward me, so there's a little bit of foreshortening, so that's why this looks a little bit different. So as I go through, you know, putting those little items and elements that make him, quote unquote, a dragon. So I like the silhouette. I like how this looks. Silhouette being the drawing. If I were to go ahead and color this in, you would automatically identify him as a dragon. Now, you know, I have to determine, do I want to make him a flying dragon? So am I going to give him wings? You know, if I give him wings, big old huge wings, it's going to kind of destroy the silhouette. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give him tiny little wings. Right? Tiny little wings. because I don't want, again, I don't want to mess up that look of the cuteness, because we're going for cute, right? You know, anybody can make, I don't want to say anybody. I actually, believe it or not, I can do cute really well, but what I'm really known for, and I don't know if this is a good thing, is making things look evil. I can make things look really, and I'm not really sure why I have that ability. You know, even throughout my career, I've always, you know, been tapped to make villains, to make, you know, things look questionable in their motive. Maybe it's the nuance, maybe it's my line work. And that's, you know, I don't want to say it's been a struggle, because an artist, you want to have a broad understanding of how to create different types of characters, you know, and I don't want to say shied away from female characters, because you know, early in my career, I didn't. You know, I did a lot of female characters and character designs and whatnot. And eventually I kind of gravitated towards animals, because that was always my passion. I love doing animals. And then, you know, getting into creatures, let's go ahead and do this. Getting into creatures and character designs, I always had that ability to make things look, you know, villainistic or villain. And I've always, you know, especially lately, I've kind of, I want to say, shied away from villainy. But cute, you know, is hard. There is, I want to say, there is a formula for cute, and you're like, what's the formula for cute? You know, it all depends on the animal, for one. It all depends on what the animal's doing at the moment. And, you know, what your overall vision is for the piece. So typically you have a larger head. You have a very small neck. The body is abbreviated. So instead of being long, you will have abbreviated appendages. You'll have small hands. You'll have large eyes, because in babies, the eyes are the one organ that typically doesn't change size. That's why in human beings, the eyes are so large. You know, you might get a little bit of growth, but overall, the eyes really don't change in terms of sizing. You know, your skull gets bigger, but your eyes will stay the same size. So then, let's go ahead and do this. I want to put these little fins in before I... So then, another thing, you know, of course, the hands are smaller. The mouth is lower, and the forehead is larger. So if I were to make this bigger, which I'm not going to do, because again, it is a dragon, you know, you would make the age less. You'd make it younger and cute. Okay. And two, one of the little things to help you along in your artistic journey in making cute, wrinkles age. You know, you think, oh yeah, that makes sense. You know, wrinkles age, but we don't realize that when we start putting wrinkles in, like if you were to draw a baby face and you put the wrinkles in around its eyes, and you maybe put the wrinkles in here, you know, excuse me, then that will actually age your drawing. You know, that was one of the exercises that I had the students do, was to draw cute, you know, and then I had them draw evil, and then I had them draw sad, you know, just a myriad of emotions to help you work through what are those cute items that we as human beings recognize as being certain emotions. You know, He's got this eyebrow that comes up, so he's inquisitive. His eyes are open, but he's calm. So he's got his eyelid is mid-drift. He's not wide open, surprised, or super excited. Now he is excited in the fact that he has this hand up and he's kind of like in suspense. And then he's just trepidatious enough to not reach out fully and reach for. So he's on his 2 feet and he's sitting back, but his tail is up. So whenever you see a dog's tail up, that means they're excited, they're interested, and if the tail is down, either they're, you know, ready for battle, or their neck's down, or their head's down, or they've been corrected. So right now, that's where all the emotions come from this piece. You can basically see why I've made certain decisions. So let's say maybe he's, you know, butterfly is kind of the natural. I don't want to do a butterfly because I put butterflies in a lot of my stuff. Because let me tell you something. Me likes me some butterflies. Like I'd said, I live in the mountains, and even yesterday there was a beautiful monarch butterfly, and it was feeding on some of the flowers outside. And man, it was just, oh, so beautiful. I took my camera out, of course my phone, and it was moving around so much. It was like, shh, and it would eat, shh, eat, shh, eat. So I didn't feel like I could get a really good picture of it, but I just stood there for just a moment and I really took it in, and it was so awesome. No complaints there, baby. Okay, so now, again, you know, I'm going through and I'm kind of readjusting and adjusting and making sure that the things that I want to be there are there. So maybe I could do what else is a little flying creature? A bee? Okay, so let's do a bee. So let's make sure the line of sight, so let's have it up here. This is important too. If I were to put it right here, it would make sense. If I were to put it like right here, it would make sense. I have to see where I have the eyes placed. Got a little bit of too much eye shine there, but I'm okay with that. A little bit too much eye shine. See, right now, you can tell that I'm putting off, and this is something that I do. I don't know if you do it as well. I'm putting off making the decision. I just want to let you know, this is what I'm thinking right now. This is my thought process. I'm putting off making the decision of where to put that bee. So I'm occupying my brain and waiting for my brain to process what I'm going to do next. So instead of just sitting there and doing nothing and staring, I'm doing a repetitive exercise to help me make that decision. My brain is working. And every time I pull my hand away, I'm looking at the overall composition, right? I haven't made the decision yet. Don't get impatient with me. This is part of my process. Everybody has a different process. So this repetitive action, it's kind of like a brain occupier to help me deal with the decision. Like I said, I haven't landed yet. Okay, let's go ahead and have these little scaladoos come up here. You notice this is one of the things making videos, also drawing in general. Make sure you sharpen 2 pencils. If you're using pencils, if you're using colored pencils, I typically will do 2 at once. So therefore, I don't have to stop and sharpen my pencil. And then what's really nice is I've already dulled this one down. And now that I'm starting to get into details, I need a sharp one. So literally, I just put that one down and I go and I don't lose a beat. Now, of course, I lost many beats because I talked to you, but I'm doing a video today, so I want to make sure and let you guys understand what I'm thinking as the process progresses. Remember what we're doing? Do you remember? We are actually dressing the dragon. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. Let's shade that in. Okay, I think I'm going to do a bee. So here we go. Here, here, here. triangulate where I think it needs to be. It needs to be a little bit higher. Right about there. Okay. Something small balances the illustration, gives it meaning. Now that I've put the little bee in, it makes sense. See? Couple little things here and there. So right now I've got this balance that comes up right here. I need to put something right here because everything is left of page. So what I'll do, I'm going to switch back to my dull, not dull, but it's not as tapered. Okay, let's get a little rock over here. Okay, so now what I'm doing here, and this is again conscious thought, I'm not doing things just to fill space. I've got this pointing up here, 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 right? Okay, switch back to the sharper pencil. Let's go ahead and do these little items here. Okay. Good. And from here, what I will do, just because I actually like this drawing quite a bit, simple, easy, fast, not too complex, tells a little bit of a story. You know, this is a nice spot illustration, right? And again, these types of drawings are what I call exploratory drawings. Let's go ahead and do this. An exploratory drawing being something that I do not only as a warm-up, but also to explore style, explore subject matter, you know, and you put that in your quill. Not quill, you put that memory of what you've done here, you know, into your brain, and you can draw upon it for a future possible story concept. So, okay. So as I progress through, what I'll do is I'll just literally, I'll continue on refining, putting elements here and there. And eventually you take a photograph of it with your phone. And then if you have a digital, you know, a way to digitally illustrate, then you can drag that into your favorite illustration program, your Photoshop, your Sketchbook Pro, your Clip Studio, your Procreate, and then you put final line to it. And you create a fun little spot illustration. And that's all I wanted to show you guys for today. Just something small, a little fun dragon. And what I'll do now is I'll just go in and I'll just start putting some value in here. Again, I keep dressing the dragon, dressing the drawing, dressing the dragon. That sounds fun. Sounds like a game. Dressing the dragon. Dressing. Okay. Okay, thank you guys for visiting the channel. Like and subscribe if you like what you see. And as always, go out and draw something fun. Create something. It doesn't have to be a drawing. It can be a sculpture. It can be a decoupage. I think the success of decoupage has to do with the word decoupage. Right? What's the other word? Oh. My wife loves kombucha, but I think, because kombucha to me is one of the most horrible things in the planet. I don't like vinegar, and kombucha basically is fermented vinegar mixed with disgusting horribleness. Anyway, I think the success of kombucha is the word kombucha, because you can say it like that. Kombucha. You know? Anyway, just a little idiosyncratic thing I do whenever I hear certain words, you know. The next video I'll do possibly will be one of the images from the coloring book. I haven't decided yet. I've actually been asked by one of the tablet companies to be a representative at an animation industry and do some really fun stuff. For them, and that's going to take a little bit of my time, so definitely stay tuned to the channel. Lots happening, you know, again, developing that coloring book for you guys to see and enjoy and to purchase. But I'm not out here to make $1 billion. I'm out here to share knowledge. You know, and of course, time is money, unfortunately. Let's shade that leg. It's in silhouette. All right, you guys. Thank you, and we'll see you soon. Bye.